Watch him throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of the Washington Commanders Morning Show. I'm your host of the Trap or Dive podcast, Mual. Happy Friday to everybody. The weekend is here. The first weekend of 2025. Time is flying, bro. I know it's only January 3rd, but I had the whole week off. So when I tell you time is flying, I'm talking from the aspect of I gotta go back to work on Monday. I didn't know the week was gonna fly by this quick, bro. That's a little frustrating because as many times as I can take a day off and decompress from work, I'm going to do it. So shout out to everybody who is off today. Shout out to everybody who's working and putting that sweat equity in. You know what I'm saying? Getting that bread, getting that paper. Salute to everybody that's basically functioning on this Good Friday. If you are new to the YouTube channel, make sure you hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button too. They would appreciate it, right? On this show, we got a few things to discuss. I'm gonna get back to our NFL preview too around the league. Last couple of weeks we ain't do it, so we'll get back to that because I want to look at some games. I want to talk about some games that's going on, specifically starting with the one tomorrow with the Bengals and the Steelers. I have no idea. I know why. The AFC North on a Saturday is sounding good. But the Browns are terrible. Why have they not flexed that game to the Sunday 1 o'clock slate, bury it in the 1 p.m. slate, and put a better game on if you're going to have two primetime games on Saturday? The Ravens are like 17 point favorites, bruh. Let me take a look and make sure. Last I checked, the Ravens are 20-point favorites. 20. And we gotta watch that game on Saturday, bruh. Matter of fact, shout out to Disco. I don't know if anybody follows Disco on Twitter. Disco said that's raking leaves time. Oh, what's up, Jay Tizzy? So the mic'd up the Jaden one was actually on. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Jay Tizzy. Good morning to the morning trappers that's tapping in live. The Jaden mic'd up was on NFL.com. So let me see. I'm gonna try and find it because I watched it. I'll send a link right now into the comments. So I watched it yesterday. Honestly, bro, it wasn't what you'd hope for. Wasn't nothing special. He ain't really say nothing for real. Jaden was quiet as hell, but I'm gonna send it to you. Hopefully the link works and you can actually click that in the comments. If you can't, just go to NFL's YouTube channel. It's right there. But I ain't gonna lie to you, it was underwhelming. Just because of who Jaden is, he ain't really talk much. He was just cooking, you know. But yeah, 20-point favorites. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch any of that on Saturday. Disco said he about to rake some leaves on Saturday for 3 hours. I might just go to a bar. You know, I don't really have nothing else going on. I go to a bar, go to the gym. But why would I go to the gym? It's Saturday, you know. I do all my working out on my days or when I ain't got nothing else going on. Or when I got something going on that day is what I should have said. I want to kick my feet up on Saturdays, bro. Yeah, it included the other teams. So it's like 3 or 4 other teams. He was only mic'd up like on that channel. I don't know if Washington Commanders have something as well, but they only showed like 5 minutes of him being mic'd up. So that's it. On the show today, we're going to do the NFL preview. And then we're going to do some conversations about who needs to be re-signed in Washington. Right? We got like 1,000 free agents coming up, right? Several of which have significantly contributed to Washington's success this year. And I think Washington needs to prioritize some. I want to start off with Kliff Kingsbury. I didn't know, genuinely speaking, because on the podcast yesterday with AJ and Dre, I had no idea like the severity in which it was being discussed, or like I didn't know how hot of a topic it was. I'm dead set. Like I knew it was like in Washington's spaces going to be a discussion for us. But I thought it'd been like he acknowledged it. That's that. I felt like people were really concerned. Not that, no. So let me clarify. I think that people are really concerned about Kliff Kingsbury's future in Washington because they are scared of losing Kliff, right? And my thing is, I don't want to paint the picture like he's easily replaceable. That's not where I'm going. But I'm of the mindset, as I said on Wednesday's morning show, I don't think he's going anywhere. So that's where I'm at. I didn't know it was going to be such a big discussion. I don't think he's going anywhere. Like, of course he was going to have to talk about head coaching jobs at some point. He has a number 4 offense in the NFL. And he was a former head coach. And he's young. Relatively young. Well, he's like early 40s. How old is Kliff Kingsbury? 45. He's young. Of course he's going to have interest as a head coach. Of course he should be interested in head coaching one day. Kliff Timothy Kingsbury. I'm about to start calling Kliff Tim. KT. KT. Yeah, man. I think for people, I think for people in the boat of I'm following this story because I don't want him to leave. I think those people who are in that boat, it's going to be important for you all to understand like just how much influence Washington has right now from a circumstance standpoint and from a resource standpoint in Kliff staying, right? That is very powerful. What organization, like the franchise, has done a complete 180? They nailed the ownership, the front office. They understand how to make. They understand how to be there for their team and make them comfortable, give them all the tools they need to win. It's like, put it this way, bro. Now we know about them little IG models, right? Them little Twitter honeys, right? You know, they saying they all bad, they pretty, you know what I'm saying? But they living in the little slums or something like that. But they post real good pictures and they take real good pictures, right? And you know, it's just that one superstar out there with a boat with boatloads of money. Like, I like you. You know what I'm saying? Let me boss you up. Right? And they take that shorty, bro. That shorty like him. You know, she don't know yet if she like him for the bread or she like genuinely like him, but she like him. And she get exposed to a whole different style of living. And once you go there, she ain't ever gonna mess with nobody that's not on the same level as him. Like, she in that circle now. You know what I'm saying? She only do this or better. She only do that or better. She ain't never going to downgrade because she know what this look like. And she ain't going down. She leveling up. That's the life she live now. Kliff ain't going back to no Arizona situation. Chicago is a dumpster fire. From the outside looking in. And like, it's looking like it's self-preservation mode out there, right? I don't know if y'all been following like the Ben Johnson situation, in terms of like ownership maybe wanting Ben Johnson in Chicago, but the GM, Chicago's ownership thinks, may want Ben Johnson, but Ben Johnson would want to bring in his own front office, or like he will only be willing to work with such and such in this front office situation. And that front office situation is related to Washington because I think it's like Lance Newmark was a former front office member in Detroit. So what does that mean for Chicago? Like, they have to make a business decision. And that GM out there in Chicago may not want to hire Ben Johnson because his job may be on the line now. And ownership may have to fire the GM out there. So why would he hire Ben Johnson, right? So now it leaves him with other options. Also, Kliff interviewed for the Bears job, the OC job. It didn't work out for whatever reasons. I don't even know that right now. I don't remember why it didn't work out. It just didn't work out. So he's going to go back and be a head coach. If the money right, sure, probably. Who knows? But my point is, and let's get back to my analogy, he knows what good looks like. He can sniff funky. He can sniff a broke boy from a mile away. Because she know what this look like. And Kliff knows what a functional, proper organization with tons of resources and smart decision making looks like. And it's crazy that you can say that about Washington now. It's enlightening. It's refreshing that you can say that about Washington now. I love that. I love to talk about Washington and their success from winning off the field to winning on the field. This is what that looks like. So I'm completely surprised that people have really been talking about Kliff and the idea that he's going to be a one and done OC here. Again, I may be dead wrong, but I'm speaking in conviction. All right, I may have what's it called, egg on my face, but I'm truly speaking in conviction here when I say, bro, like we will have Kliff Kingsbury beyond one season. I don't think there's any situation out there that's better than Washington. Mind you, respectfully, if he went to Chicago, for example, he would be going from Jaden to Caleb. And while Caleb has some familiarity with him, he ain't Jaden. Also, shout out to Chris Carter. I'm going to play this right quick, and I'm going to get to the chat, check in with y'all. This was cool. Ain't no way I didn't save it, bro. Hold on. Oh, here it is. This is from the Stephen A. Smith Show. It's a little hype song, but I ain't about to get to that point. I'm about to just play the most important part.
Is he the best quarterback in the NFC?
No, he's not the best quarterback.
Who is? Say it. It's a rookie. Say it. Say it. Get it out the system. Say it. Say it, man.
Man, there's a kid in Washington.
They know it. Chris Carter know it. Stephen A. know it. That boy is the best quarterback in the NFC. Some people see it already. Why would Kliff leave Jaden to go to Caleb, who has a ton of work in front of him after 1 year? Kliff is staying for at least another season. I don't know why people tripping. Relax. Drink some water. Take a sip of that Basil Hayden. You may need Everclear the way that y'all panicking. Black out. Checking with the chat, bro. Let me check in with everybody. Good morning once again, everybody that's just checking in live. The Morning Trappers, man. Washington Commanders Morning Show. I don't ever put my socials out there. Or I stopped doing it. Y'all can follow me if y'all don't follow me on Twitter and we just checking on YouTube. Y'all can follow me on Twitter at Let Mual Tell It. Just don't forget to spell my name with a U. Mual. All right, here we go. What's up, Jay Tizzy? Yeah. And include the other teams that mic'd up. Didn't watch me because I thought he had his own jump. Yeah, I did too. When Dre said it on the show yesterday, I was like, oh, snap. Like, I thought it was a Commanders job. I was telling people go to the Commanders YouTube channel. I was disappointed when it was on NFL.com. I don't like theirs. I love football, but like they don't give you like 4 minutes of content. But Neela, what up, player? Nah, he ain't going nowhere, bro. Kliff just getting started. Yeah. He's really learning from DQ, and I don't think he's ready to leave yet. That's another thing. Like you gotta like Dan Quinn has. I mean, he acknowledged Dan Quinn in one of his pressers. Like he just understands like the mistakes he made in Arizona just by watching Dan Quinn. Like he knows exactly what he needs to do when he goes somewhere. Set them boundaries, set them expectations. Yep, knew everything in the stadium coming. AP can sell the word to free agents. Chicago about to fire everybody. Yeah, exactly. This is what I was talking about. GM wants Flores and ownership wants Ben Johnson. And the politics behind it is because Ben Johnson wants a different GM in place, and that would risk the current GM's job, and that's the reason why the GM is wanting Flores, because his job won't be at risk. If I was the Eagles, I'll go for Ben Johnson. Hey, bro. Hey, look. I mean, they 14-2 right now. 14-2. Yeah, that'd be a bold decision. And honestly, man, 13-3. Who did they? Oh, they lost to us. Hey, that's. I'm like, who did they lose to? Oh, that's bad. Caleb might want Kliff, sure. Kliff going to stay at least until the AZ money runs out. That's in 2027. I think 2 more years. Yeah, that's why I say at least one more. But yeah, both y'all are kind of saying. I think y'all I can see him staying longer than one more. I just give room that like maybe he's ready after a couple of years. But honestly, bro, like think about it this way too. Who in the NFC? That's an ignorant question. Let me rephrase this. Washington is among the upper echelon of teams who are very much capable of winning the Super Bowl and within the next 5 years. Like that's a realistic conversation to have. And Kliff is going to gamble on that after 1 year, like gamble on himself after 1 year. See this thing through. I mean, there's some parallels between Ben Johnson and Kliff Kingsbury in this situation. I know everybody went through what they went through with Ben in the offseason. Some people wanted Ben in Washington. I don't think it's unfair to have that opinion of Ben, whether for good or for bad, about how you felt in the offseason. But, if you take Ben at his word, one of his biggest reasons for returning to Detroit is the reason why they're 14-2 right now, right? He wants to see things through in Detroit, and he thinks that they have a good shot at winning the Super Bowl. Your biggest competition a year ago was San Francisco. Wasn't nobody else. Like Detroit was rolling through everybody, just like San Fran was. And you was at the doorstep last year. San Fran 6-10 this year. Now, granted, your defense has taken several hits. What was once a unit who can rush the passer and create plenty of turnovers is leaking like a sieve. And I said it when they played against San Francisco, bro. God bless that team because they ain't win no Super Bowl with that defense. They may make the Super Bowl, but it's going to be on the back of Jared Goff. Speaking of that conversation that I had with AJ yesterday, if they make the Super Bowl, it's going to be on the backs of that offense. Of course, the defense is going to play a role to some degree, but 80% of the burden is going to be on that offense. So if they make the Super Bowl, Jared Goff is going to play a large factor in that. Anyway, let's get back to Washington. The point of being is you have like the 5-year window does legitimately exist, and that 5-year window is because of Jaden Daniels. We're talking about contractually, right? Because you're going to extend that 5th-year option. You got to do everything in your power to maximize that rookie contract. And I'm sure Kliff knows that too. He had the same deal with Kyler Murray in Arizona. And Arizona is, Kyler Murray ain't what Jaden is. But he understood it. Like from a rookie standpoint, he was a head coach. He made decisions from a head coaching level. He understands what that rookie contract means. And in that interview with Chris Carter was midway through the season. I didn't even know that. I was actually about to look for it. I follow that podcast on iTunes or Apple, whatever it's called. I didn't know that was in the middle of the season. What up, High Speed? Good morning. Kliff at least going to stay one more season. He really doesn't like being a head coach. All that thing he loves here. I can't wait. Eagles ain't going to make the Super Bowl. I would put Green Bay. Oh, Green Bay, I think plays him in round 1 right now, right? Yeah, I don't know about that. But Green Bay got the horses. They got the horses for an upset. They just lost Jair, though. But they also strapped. They did a good job against Justin Jefferson. Like, their secondary, generally speaking, is typically the strength of their team under what's that dude name? Matt LaFleur. They run game is the problem, but they secondary has always been a strength. So that's gonna be a closer game, but I don't think they're gonna. If they played them in like the divisional round, I give them a shot. But the first game, I think Philly makes it out of the wild card. So now it's like at that point, who is up next? And that part I do not know. Saquon not getting a shot at the record is crazy. Yeah, I also think that he needs to be playing. I don't think he needs to be rushing. It's like Saquon is too nice, bro. Like he had a part in that decision too, but Saquon is too nice. I thought it was cool at first, but then I thought about it. I was like, bro, like it's a reason why Eric Dickerson's record has lasted as long as it has. Like these opportunities don't come by that often. And you're telling me you're 100 yards away and you okay with sitting, bro? Like you want to look that noble? I ain't being that noble if I'm 100 yards away. And imagine how his other teammates feel, bro. I'm sure his teammates want to get that for him too. And it's against New York, bro. You're tripping. Trying to be all noble. Fuck that no. To hell with that nobility, bro. I already cussed. I don't know why I just changed it. To hell with that nobility. You know what I'm saying? Give me my 150. I might go for 200. Eric Dickerson don't even want you breaking his record. He don't like you, bro. That's another reason why you need to do it. Yeah, Super Bowl window is open, bro. I love saying stuff like that and actually like not having like that black cloud or that shadow over my back when I say it, because it's like it's Dan Quinn. Like I say Dan Quinn. Sorry, the other Dan, not Dan Quinn, but it's DS. You know what I'm saying? We don't say that name around here no more. I don't say that name around here no more. I barely even say Double R, who just interviewed in New York. I don't say his name either. And AJ keep want to get him on the show. I'm like, bro, like, no disrespect to him, but like, what I gotta talk to you about? I know it's gonna be good content. I know it is. But I didn't talk so much trash about him, bro. I can be a professional. I know I can be a professional. But like what I really got, I don't even want to open them doors, bro. And on top of that, he hangs up on people and quits conversations when they talk about his past. He don't like that. It's documented and it's spoken about publicly. So why the hell? Because I'm gonna ask him questions about his decision making. He either gonna lie, or he gonna have to face the truth, or he gonna get off the interview. I don't want to do no conversation with respectfully. Legacy wise, a single rushing record is way more important than the Super Bowl for Saquon. We got 4 or 5 more years of cheap Jaden. We can really stack the roster. I agree. When Ben Johnson leaves, Dan Campbell finna get. Well, Dan Campbell, what does that mean? Because Dan Campbell isn't necessarily. Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I should say that. I understand what you're saying. But like if we've been locked in on Dan Campbell over the years, like, I mean, think about it like this: Aaron Glenn he should be getting those head coaching opportunities, like the interviews and stuff like that, right? Prior to all the injuries, they were a top 10 defense. They ain't top 10 no more. They are terrible. Everybody started going down. They was good. But you know, you lose some of your best players, and it's like damn. But what's my point? Dan Campbell got those guys their positions. Ben Johnson wasn't even the original OC when Campbell was first there. I think it was actually our running backs coordinator. Why am I blanking on his name? He went to San Francisco last year. He was the head coach of the Chargers, Anthony Lynn. So, I mean, for Dan, I think he's a leader and he understands how to the cliche word galvanize. He just understands people, bro, and he understands how to coach, like, just from that perspective. And I think all of that is important. He knows how to organize. And all of those true management oversight duties of a head coach, he can get that done. I say all that to say, we got to be careful because who's up? We don't know who's in the wings. Ben may got somebody for Dan Campbell, and that dude may be just as good as Ben. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If Green Bay beats Eagles, Knicks is gone. Honestly, bro, if we entertain in this specific scenario, I can see Nick Sirianni. I mean, Nick Sirianni is he's annoying. I've never said that out loud, but I do believe it. Like Zach Ertz can play it off however he wants, and that's fine. I don't think it was anything. Like, I'll say that first. I don't think it was anything. But in the moment, Nick was mad that he lost. And he probably said something slick to Zach. And Zach wasn't with that shit. And that's why it looked the way it looked. But not only that, like, the dude was really barking at fans who was barking at him when they were playing bad. When the offense sucked. Like, they went on a lull this season, bro. And he barking at the fan base. You went over your head, player. And they ain't gonna stop barking at you just because you're the head coach. They're gonna talk more. So what you doing? I don't know if those are grounds for firing if you're an owner. And of course you have a 13-3 record. But yes, losing in the first round, especially when you assess the competition out there. If you're the 2 seed, bro. The 2 seed. And you have the number 1 seed is Detroit, for example, or Minnesota. Like, you have a really good shot of having home field advantage throughout the playoffs up until the conference championship game. And you lose in the first round with the competition that's out there, the Rams, the Bucks, you can beat both of those teams. You're better than Washington. You could beat Washington. That's not a lie. You should beat your first round matchup. If you lose in that first round of wild card, bro. And if it's embarrassing, that boy gone. If Jordan Love get hot, but I don't know if you watched him against Minnesota. Well, I put up 4 units on Minnesota to beat Green Bay. Now again, I'm betting my unit sizes now. Like, I try to be very strict on that so I can manage my units throughout the season. I never really used to do that, so that's a little technical term. But I put up 4 units, which is a lot, of course, for Minnesota to beat Detroit. To beat Green Bay. And a lot of it was like, I really thought that they was going to handle things defensively. If Jordan Love does get hot, yes, Philadelphia is in trouble. They need Josh Jacobs to get. They need to establish Josh Jacobs, and they need that receiving core fully healthy. I like Tucker Kraft too, but they need that receiving core to get fully healthy. Spread that defense out. Take notes from Washington. Once they spread that defense out, bro, good luck. And they got receivers. They need Christian Watson to be healthy. He ain't play against Minnesota because he's gonna be the one that's gonna stretch the field. They can go in the link and they can beat them, but they better take notes from Washington. When Jaden and Kliff, they just said, "F it, bro, spread them out." Well, first off, Jay Tizzy, I can tell you that we was literally a second away from having him on the show, and I wasn't with it. Double R, specifically. So he was going to come on the show. And let me be clear, he wasn't. I wasn't with it, but he also had a. You can actually do the dating on this. He had an ESPN performance or tryout or something like that. I don't know, but that's how long ago he was going to be on the show. Something popped up that wasn't on his schedule, and then it came on his schedule, and he was on ESPN. So if you want to like date back, he was that close from being on the show, and I wasn't with it. AJ was pushing for it, and he just ultimately something came up where he had to be on ESPN the same day we wanted to have him on the show. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm not too. I ain't ever going. I appreciate that's a compliment out too, but I don't. I wasn't gonna be disrespectful, bruh. I wasn't gonna be disrespectful, but I like I said, my actual day job requires me to interview people. Part of it requires me to interview people. And it's people that actually don't like me. Like not me the person, but me who I represent. I know it's not hard for me to maintain professionalism. And I ain't ever gonna like if I ever have somebody on the show, bro, I'm never gonna disrespect anybody. And even if I have a formed opinion of them, I'm never gonna disrespect them. But if I do have an informed opinion of them that isn't like overly positive, I know how to ask a question. I know how to ask a question. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? That's funny. Yes, that's actually part of like the documented flare-ups he's had. Yes. I'm with you, big dog. That's a name, Mark Brunell. And yes, it was Anthony, and that's what I was thinking of. Let's talk about this. Who do y'all prefer? Because I don't think we actually dissected. I had this conversation. I think we touched on it briefly on the podcast side, but I don't think we really asked the question of who do we truly prefer. AJ will tell you, playoffs is playoffs. It don't matter. Everybody's going to try hard. But I mean, that's the truth. The other truth is your strengths and weaknesses favors out against other teams for better or for worse. And I didn't say that very cleanly. But what I'm saying is your matchups and what you bring to the table gives you a better chance against one team than it does the other. Who do I prefer? Who do y'all prefer? Let's hear it. Who do y'all prefer? I'll say for me, all right, let me put it this way. Let's do process by elimination. I do want revenge on the Bucks. I do think if Marshawn Lattimore is available, I really like our shot against the Bucks. Not for the sake of like we finally have like somebody who can match up with they receivers, but Marshawn was in the AFC, in the NFC South. All right. He loves going up against Mike Evans. If you get what I'm saying. Chris Godwin, he loves it. Chris Godwin is obviously on IR. He's not playing. Came prepared this time. But he loves going up against these guys, right? So for Marshawn, this ain't a team that he's unfamiliar with. And he can bring in advantages that this coaching staff probably wasn't even aware of, which I'm sure they are aware of most things that they can work on. But Marshawn knows these guys like the back of his hand. He's been in the division his whole career. He's played against Mike Evans his whole career. He's played against Baker Mayfield 3 times as a member of the NFC South. I'm trying to remember if Marshawn was on the team. I'm about to check. And if he even played that game. Where's the Saints? Yeah. Oh, they beat the dog shit out of the Saints that first game. 51-27. Marshawn ain't play. I know he ain't played this game. Because ain't no way they put up 51 on the Saints and he played. Oh, Lord, he played. But they only threw it to him. They threw it to him 3 times. He gave it 1 completion for 8 yards. Oh, Lord Jesus. Paulson Adebo gave up. He was the one that was getting picked on. He gave up 8 catches for 107 yards. Willie Gay gave up 2 catches for 60 yards. But yeah, Marshawn only had 1 catch allowed on him for 8 yards. So they don't even throw his way. Damn, he was on the game. He was in the game. But that's my point. That's what I'm getting at. You see exactly what my thing is with Marshawn against Tampa Bay. Like, he understands them. They're not going to throw his way, which means Noah Igbenogany, Mike Sammerstill, your other 2 corners, they're going to have to show up. And Baker throwing 15 picks this year. I love my chances against Tampa Bay for that reason, having Marshawn back, right? But then I look at the Los Angeles Rams. And what does the Los Angeles Rams bring to the table? I'm sorry, I'm not even done with their defense. Like, their defense is still, like, they still generate a lot of pressure. Like, that's not like, statistically, you can look at Tampa Bay, and I think they are the 21st ranked defense. But you can't run on them. They steal some dogs, especially when Vita Vea play, and they can rush the passer. That's the thing that people need to be aware of. They are 8th in pressures. They are, they're not that good in pressure rate, but where are their sacks at? Yeah, they're 7th in sacks. What's their sack rate talking about? Yeah, so they don't generate that much pressure. I mean, their pressure rate is not that good, but they get to the quarterback. The Rams is not the same story. They have 36 sacks on the season. That's bottom half of the league. Bottom 12 to be exact. Their sack rate, bottom 12 at 7%. Pressure rate. Their pressure rate is pretty high. And their pressures are high as well. So they're one of those teams like the Saints. If y'all remember going into the game against the Saints, they created a lot of pressure. They just didn't get to the quarterback. They ended up getting to the quarterback 8 times. Jaden Daniels got to the quarterback 8 times against Jaden. Of course, some of those was like those little sideline jumps where he just run out of bounds and boom, I touch you, I get a sack. But they got to the quarterback against Jaden. They pressured and they got home. It's all clear about that. But that's kind of what the Rams are in terms of like how they can be up front in the drop back passing game and things like that. They create pressure, they create havoc, they just don't get home. So that's the biggest thing for Washington when you go up against these guys. And who's that dog that's like They got a dog on their defensive line, bro. I think it's the dude that went to the Pro Bowl, but their guy is their interior pass rusher. Let me see what's his name. I think it's Braden Fisk is the guy I'm thinking about. 8 sacks on the season. Let me make sure. Yeah, I think that's him. It's like their 3 tech. I thought it was their 3 technique. It may be, I think it is Braden, I'll just say. Cause that boy be killing stuff, bro. But let me continue. That's kind of their defensive secondary, but they're young, bro. And then I also think that you can run on them. This is a team that you can run on. And for Washington, I tell y'all week in and week out, you need to have the ability to run in the playoffs. And for Washington to make it out of the wild card round, they have to be able to find their run game. Offload the pressure on Jaden Daniels, though Jaden Daniels is not scared of the pressure, which is good. That allows him to take over in the run game. But you got to find a way. And hopefully Eckler's back. He's been a full participant last couple of days in practice. So if he doesn't play in the Dallas game, he will be available wild card weekend. So you got that change of pace guy back. You can open up your offense a little bit more in terms of like having him out wide, tight to the formation, run some routes, catch the ball out of the backfield, bring back that versatility, open up the offense a little bit more. But you got to find a way to establish the run game with your backs. And I think the Rams gives you the best opportunity to do that. The issue is offensively, just as much as we give credit to who was the person that said it? Yeah, high speed. High speed mentioned Jordan Love getting hot against the Eagles. Right? If you talk about Matt Stafford getting hot in the playoffs, bro. Like his playoff career is all him getting hot. Like that's where he elevates his game. And that's what you don't want. Like they don't have like a true deep threat, but Puka Nacua, he gonna get about 10 catches. But again, if Marshawn follows him across the field, I can't say how many he gonna get, but how many catches Puka gonna get. But like that is how they move the ball. But they can also tote. And they're not a team that's toting and having a great average. Like they tote because they know how important a run game is to their offense and their play action. Right? So Kyron can literally get off 25 carries and they'll be okay with that if Kyron can literally get 85 yards and they'll be okay with that if they tote about 20-something times with Kyron. Like they don't care. They're going to tote. So yeah, I think honestly, if I think about it from that perspective and two different teams of who I'd want, they both tough matchups. I take my chances with Tampa Bay. I'd rather take my chances with Tampa Bay. That was a great question, High Speed. I'm about to check in with y'all, see what y'all say. Spread out is great for us when Eckler's healthy. That is. What up, Chef? Good morning. Damn, bro. I can't talk about what was about to happen on the show. How you gonna tell me what to do? Let me tell you what to do. Go get some coffee, bro. I don't even know what that meant. I just wanted to tell you what to do. Jay Tizzy said he wants the Bucks. Hey, that's crazy, bro. Hey, but Neela, we can't talk about the past. Alex don't want us doing that, especially when it involves a coach in 2020 that is no longer on this team. Can't do it. So your opinion is null and void. JD missed a lot in that first game he did, and they reckless on D. Al2 said, "Give me the Rams. Let's ban let's banish McVay, OC shadow over this." Or I don't even think it's a shadow, bro. Like he long gone. Jaden will light up the Bucs defense this time. Yeah, I'm in favor. I'm in favor of Washington playing the Bucs in the wild card. TG, what up, player? Good morning. Bucs, but JD possibly getting a dub in LA would be cool for him. I don't like the matchup with the Rams because they play that too high shell. That gives our offense trouble. The Rams play the same D as the Eagles. Oh, the Eagles and the Falcons. Okay. Yeah, Jared Verse. That's okay. So Jared Verse is yeah, wait. Yeah, the baby Donald. Is it? I'm a little confused reading this. Because Fisk is the 3-tech that I'm talking about. But y'all saying I'm confusing the two. So it's not, so it's Jared Verse that I'm thinking about. That's like the mini Donald. Y'all tell me. It's one of them two. It's even Fiscal Verse. One of them. I'm gonna just let y'all tell me. Eckler being back for the playoffs is gonna be huge. Adds so much for Kliff and Jaden. Baker could get hot as well. Hey, shit, he hot right now. He ain't never gonna stop being hot. That boy gonna be hot from like that's gonna be the problem. But you gotta take advantage of them opportunities he's gonna give you, all right? Because he's gonna give you a couple opportunities per game. If you get a couple turnovers, you talking about, and you get a couple turnovers and you convert on them. That's the good that comes out of that. Like I told y'all in the game preview week 1, Baker was that dude. He was the Buccaneers offense last year before they, changed some things up on the offensive line, got him some help. He was their offense. Okay. Where was I at? Oh, who does Washington need to re-sign? Shout out to Commanders offense, by the way. 29 points per game this season. Those 29 points per game is the first time a rookie in NFL history and their team has averaged 29 points per game. It's the let me rephrase that. That was ugly. The Commanders are averaging 29 points per game, 28.9. But that's the most in NFL history with the team, by a team with a rookie quarterback as its leading passer. You want to know the highest points per game that Washington has seen over the last 6 years? Take a guess. So they're 5th this year. What's the highest since 2018? Matter of fact, you don't even have to go a ranking. If they're 29 points per game, 28.9, what's the highest point total that they averaged over the last 6 years? 19, 21, 23, 25. High speed says 18 points per game. JTZ, are you saying 21st or 21 points per game? Let me know what you mean. Oh, 21 points. Okay. Yeah, Fisk. All right, so Fisk is, yeah, that's my dog. I like Fisk. TG says 20 points per game. Okay. Well, J Tizzy, okay, Vanilla says 17. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and let's just show it. Let's just show it. Oh Lord, I gotta zoom in. All right, there we go. You probably still can't read this. I really can't tell. But I'll just read it. So they had in 2023 19 points per game. That was 24th in the NFL. 2022, they had 18.9 or 19 points per game. That was 24th in the NFL. 2021, 20 points per game. 19.7. That was 23rd. 2020, they were 20.9. 21 points per game. That was 25th. 2019, they were 16.6, which was, or 17. That was 30, 32, 32nd. And then in 2018, with that boy, Alex Smith, before the injury, of course, 17.6 per game. That was 29th in the NFL. Long story short, they sucked. They sucked, bro. Okay. So who does Washington need to re-sign? Let's pull up their Spotrac. Let's talk about who they need to re-sign. I think that there's some. I think for Washington, there's some non-negotiables. You got to bring them back. I'm pulling up the team's contracts right now. Figure out. Fail. Where is Washington? And then let's pull up unrestricted free agents. Here we go. Boy, these, hey, bro, they got 22 unrestricted free agents. Let me see how many total they got. Oh, it's all, so it's still 22. They got 22 unrestricted free agents. Good Lord. Okay. Trustway is a free agent. I didn't know Trustway was 34. I thought he was like 32. Hey, bro, he old. But I mean, he's just punting, so he could do it. He could punt a little bit longer. All right, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Yeti, man, what's up, player? Good morning. Good morning, man. Okay, so we see Jeremy Chin, Zach Ertz, Dante Fowler. Well, I was about to say Jeremy Fowler. John Bates, Jay Tizzy, Ertz, Fowler, Wagner, Chin, OZ. Eckler's on a 2-year deal, so he good. So he's gonna be back. Vanilla says Chin, Noah Igbanagani. Can somebody tell Kevin Sheehan, please, to say it, bro? Nobody has ever corrected how to pronounce his name. This entire season, he's been saying it one way, and it's been like it's like hearing a nail on a chalkboard when he says it. He pronounces it Noah Igbanagani. I'm like, man. I only say that, bro, because I got killed when I did my film session on Olamide Zacchaeus. And Wagner along with OZ and Wags. I think that was a typo. Noah's too injury prone. That he is. Like, that was his biggest thing with Washington. I mean, when he got signed with Washington, he's a solid player, but you can't count on him. Jeremy Chin, Fowler, Wagner, and John Bates. Wagner, if you want to run it back. He just called him Iggy. So I'm cool. Like, I'm cool with Wagner. Like, I'm not against. Also, by the way, I want y'all to be aware of this. If you are all in on bringing Wagner back, I don't ever want to hear y'all complain about a free agent and the idea of bringing in a 30-plus-year-old free agent, and y'all saying he's too old. I don't want to hear that shit ever again. Ever. Now, I'm for bringing in Bobby Wagner back, re-signing Bobby Wagner to another one-year deal. I honestly think that Bobby Wagner, his situation, he just wanted to come in for a year and see like how things would go. But I think after this year, bro, if you have intentions on playing some more football, I think Washington's season has probably surprised him beyond the point in which like he expected like their win-loss total to actually be. Like, I don't think he had expectations on a win number, and I'm sure he came in to win, right? But I think there was other things that was priority here for him and Dan Quinn. And also I think that he really loves Jaden. So I do think that he can come back. And the reason why I mentioned the age thing is I think London Fletcher plays, he was like 37. I'm not comparing the two in terms of like skill set or anything. What I'm saying is Bobby Wagner, him being that age doesn't bother me. As long as you can play, you can play. Because guess who else is up there in age? Zach Ertz. And y'all said y'all want to bring Zach Ertz back too. I'm okay with that. But he can't be that number one guy, bro. They need to find a tight end. That'll bump y'all boy Ben Sinnott down a notch. Unless they just go with unless they move on from John Bates. But they need to bring in a tight end. But I'm okay with Zach Ertz. He looks really healthy this year. He's still pretty athletic. He can create separation. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with him not being a yak god. I'm okay with that. Mariota, if he wants to come back, sure. But I mean, $6 million for a backup is good money for 1 year. But $6 million for another year, I'm not too sure about that. I'd be okay with letting them walk. I don't need no Mariota. I think Mariota's job was critical for 1 year. And if Jaden can't soak up all that knowledge after, what Mariota provided him after 1 year, and then call him on the phone if he need him, then what are we doing? I don't need Mariota after 1 year. I think his job was very important in the transition from college to the NFL, and I think he's done an excellent job. Yes, bring back Jeremy Chin. Ertz to mentor Tyler Warren and Senate. Hey, bro, we need. I like Tyler, bro. Tyler is a dog. Well, you got to trade for them. Got to trade for them guys. And we're gonna do like a real dive into all season soon. I want to kind of like take small bites on the apple, given that we still in the regular season, going into the playoffs. Like I did entertain one question, I think Wednesday, about Devontae Adams. He's getting let go by the Jets when the season's over. A lot of people fought back on that. They didn't like Devontae Adams. Yeah, I'd be all for Devontae. Folk tripping. And if you're not in on Devontae, guess who else will be? The Chiefs. They win Super Bowls. So if you stuff your nose up at Devontae and the Chiefs sign him, then would that make Washington? Fools. But nah, Kansas City probably being on him. The Chargers may be in on him. I don't know how much he'll like the Chargers though. Like they in the same division as Kansas City. He may try and make another move. Maybe like to who can he go to? Could go back to Green Bay. Could go back to Green Bay. Could go to San Francisco. Trying to think who else. I don't see him going to Buffalo, but he could go to Buffalo. Be like a specialist. Like a third down specialist. Like they did Andre Johnson in Indianapolis before he retired. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about Devontae. Like, we didn't exercise that thought on Wednesday. We can circle the block when things become more realistic in the offseason. I said I'm all in on Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin has been a staple to this defense. I mean, the hit against who was that? Number 12 against Atlanta. Like I said it on the podcast yesterday. Chin is a striker. You need somebody who's going to put fear into an offense, bro. Like when he got up from that hit, they zoomed in on his face. They zoomed in on Cuz's face, bro. He was like, bro, is this what we got to go through? Kadero Hodge. Like, bro, is this what I got to is this going to be all game? That's what that hit. That's what that hit did to Kadero. But like the type of fear that he brings from, or the energy that he sets, like being able to bring that every single play is good. And they're starting to be a little bit more versatile with him, right? He's not just a box player. Like he's playing that too high post safety, right? And I think he's playing too high and he's playing like the post safety role. He's done a couple of those, like the single high. He moves around, plays the slot. He had a matchup against Kyle Pitts, a good portion of the game on Sunday against Atlanta. But overall, Jeremy Chin, this year was a prove it deal, and I think Jeremy Chin, like he smashed it. Jeremy Chin beyond proved it. And I think the reason why he's even in Washington is understanding what Dan Quinn was going to do for him. Why wouldn't you want to re-sign? He's 26 years old, by the way, 27 in a couple months. So you can get him to like a 3-year deal. KJ Osborne just got here. I'm not really tripping off him. If Tressway doesn't want to retire, bring back Tressway. Make it short and sweet. Let that man enjoy the success. I mean, look, he was the underrated. He was the more underrated aspect of the game on Sunday. The dude after they went 3 and out and giving the ball back to Atlanta with still plenty of time left on the clock, under 2 minutes, booted a 60-something yard punt deep, backed up deep into their own territory. He booted a 60-something yard punt to flip the field. Again, 34 years old. If you still want to play, bring Trustway back. Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny, but you know, it was funny, but you know, we know. Wagner can still play, and he does give me London Fletcher vibes. He's still valuable in the organization. We need a receiver that consistently beat the press and get open underneath. But you gotta think though. I don't like when people think like this. Not like calling you out high speed. It doesn't stop after one player. They're not going to just sign Adams and call it a deal. Bro, you only have 2 receivers on the roster. That's Terry McLaurin and Luke McCaffrey. That's all they got. So trust me, like, they not going to stop at Devontae. And to be clear, let me actually, because I don't want the focus to be just on Devontae Adams. That was just one of the scenarios or one of the players that can likely be a target. My point is, whichever name that they bring in, because they may bring in a name, right? They still have to fill out that receiving core. They have about 3 or 4 more after that they need to bring in if they don't re-sign people, which I do think they should re-sign Zacchaeus. He's 27 years old. Keep him in. Re-sign him. That would be an easy decision. And when I say I don't like when people think like this, I'm talking about for multiple positions. Like when we talk about names of bringing in people, the buck doesn't stop and end at one person. Like they, especially at a position of need, they got to bring in as many people as they can that they think is going to be able to completely flip over that roster position, that position group, excuse me. So I don't, it wouldn't stop at one person. They probably still draft two receivers, bringing their own guys. So I'm all for. Well, I just want people to understand that it is what it is, and I don't want people to think that Devontae is my number one offseason target. I don't think that at receiver. I don't. That's not the case for me. You also don't know who else is going to be available. Sure, we know the big name right now, right? T. Higgins, Devontae, but like surprise cuts, off-season trades, they all still exist. So we don't even know who's going to be available just yet. Let's keep going. Dante Fowler, I would bring him back. I'm okay with that. At 10.5 sacks, he's making $3.2 million on the 1-year deal. He said 10.5 sacks. He may get another one against Dallas. That contract gonna go up. That price gonna go up. Are y'all okay with paying Dante a little bit more than $3.2 million? Let's see. Y'all are asking about Chen. What would Chen's contract look like? Let's see if they have it available. What would his market value be? Do they have comparisons? No comparisons available yet. Not available yet. Career earnings. Yeah, not available just yet. Who asked about this? High speed, not available just yet. Typically on Spotrac, they'll give you like comparisons of what he may demand based on like his peers. That's not available just yet for him. But that's actually something to monitor. But I think they'll pay it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Where we at? Wait, do got them fresh legs? Yes, 100%. Morning Trappers, yes it is. The Morning Trappers, yes it is. What up, Hawk? Yeah, it is. The Morning Trappers, man. Hopefully McCaffrey makes major strides next season. You hope so. His snaps been decreasing for a reason as the season went on. But hopefully, I get it. But I'm saying if you bring in Adams or a veteran, they will get the reps. I would prefer a younger guy drafting developed guys. I mean, can they play? I'm actually glad that, who was it? Hawk brought up Luke McCaffrey. I mean, Luke McCaffrey and Noah Brown. That's a perfect example. Like, if you ain't playing good and Noah's playing good, it is what it is. If you a dog as a younger guy, they're not gonna keep you off the field. It's just that simple. If you a dog, they're not gonna keep you off the field, bro. I think we can all agree with that. If you ain't no dog, why they gonna keep you on the field? Ben Sinnott, another example. They had no intentions on playing Zach Ertz as much as they played him. But Zach Ertz brings an element to this offense at the tight end position that neither John Bates or Ben Sinnott can bring. And those guys will be just fine. Luke McCaffrey, Ben Sinnott, they'll be just fine. Either they can play or they can't. Who was the guy that I'm thinking of? Under Devontae in Green Bay. I have to look it up. Think of somebody. Where's the Packers at? I'm gonna have to do some research right quick. I mean, we ain't doing nothing right now, right? We just talking about who we gonna re-sign. Let me go back a couple years. This was Aaron Rodgers' year, 8 and 9. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. Okay. Was this Devontae Adams season? No, it wasn't. He had moved on to the Raiders. 2021 is the season then. Oh yeah. It was MVS. I know it wasn't no MVS. That's not who I'm thinking about. I mean, Alan Lazard, he was 26. He was also young, so I think he was that he was on the rookie contract, but that's not who I'm thinking about. Let me go back a little bit further. Oh, I think it might have been MBS. Where is Robert Tonyan these days? I remember his name. Yeah, this ain't looking good. I think it was Alan Lazard and MVS. They had Jimmy Graham. Where's Robert Tonyan at? 2024. He plays for Minnesota, but he got hurt. I'm sure he got hurt. He played 5 games. That boy stay in the NFC North. That's how you keep a job. You stay with the people that know you. That man stayed in the NFC North. He went from Green Bay to Chicago to Minnesota. That's all right. Yeah, I think I was tripping. Who was this? Is this 6'9" and 1? Joe Philbin and Mike McCarthy. Oh, that's when he got fired. That's Devontae Adams, Jimmy Graham. It was MVS. All right, so it was MVS because MVS came in he got drafted in 2018 and he was he was an older guy. He was 24. So it was MVS. Okay. So I wasn't tripping. All right, I thought I was tripping for a minute. I mean, MVS ain't special, but you get what I'm saying. Like, he was on the field. His rookie season, 38 receptions, 581 yards. If they like you, bro. And then in 2 years later after that, he ends up leading the league in yards per reception. Only had 33 catches, but he had 690 yards, 6 touchdowns. Okay. So I wasn't tripping. But that's my point. That's actually my point. Sorry for the little sidetrack. If you a dog as a young guy and you can bring something to the table, they're gonna put you on the field. That's what any team gonna do. All right, let's continue. Fowler, 1.5 mil bonus if he gets a sack versus Dallas. Yes. I'm glad you brought that up because where is my I was looking that up for betting purposes. I'm around the league. I was trying to see who can I put in these parlays moving forward. So we have three people in Washington that has incentives coming up. Defensive end Dorrance Armstrong is a sack away from hitting a $250,000 incentive/escalator. Defensive end Dante Fowler needs a half a sack to make $375K, maxing out the $1.5 million incentive for the season. Zach Ertz is 9 receptions away from hitting $250K bonus. He's also 90 receiving yards away from another $250,000. And he's also 2 receiving touchdowns away from another $250,000. So if you all are listening Y'all are gamblers. Google, what did I Google exactly? NFL contract incentives for week 18. Go through the list. It'll give you an angle to do your same game parlays or your player props. I just read you all Washington, so I know for me, Zach Ertz. Boy, I'm about to put a lotto in for that boy. Okay. Skins as an organization are in great shape, great position. We got plenty of money and picks. Gonna be fun to see what AP does. Noah Brown, I bring him back too. Yeah, MVS. I'm glad. All right, I'm glad you saw it. I was over here looking. I should have looked at the chat, but yeah, MVS is the guy I was thinking about. Locked On Commanders, dude. My guy, Dave Harrison, said that he talked to tight end coach David Ryan, was surprised, and he said Senate is going to surprise when he gets his time. Ertz is just hooping right now. I hope so. I'm dead ass serious too. I hope so. I'm not going to knock Ben Simmons as much as I have to this point. And honestly, my true knock is just as a receiver and route running. I think he's athletic, he's quick, he's powerful. But that's just my honest opinion. So I hope so. Yeah. Aaron Jones, but I know you mean. He stayed in the NFC North. It was another team that was interested in him too that wasn't in the NFC North. Don't know who it was. JD gonna get him that. Like I said, bro. If you are an incentive guy, or if you're looking for an angle, a betting angle, that's the route you need to go. I'm not down on Ben Simmons because of Ertz. He can learn and develop. Tight end is one of the toughest positions to transition into. Yusuf, what up, player? Good morning. Good morning to all the morning trappers tapping in live. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Let's go ahead and close this out, and then let's get to some of the angles. Let's talk some bets around the NFL. Noah Igbenogany, bring him back. He's 25 years old. Funny enough, I think he's been in the league for like 4 years already, 4 or 5 years already. He was a first round pick from Dallas, and he's played. I think I said it last show too. I went through the penalties that the cornerbacks were having throughout the season. Right, Ben St. Juste, Mike Sanders still, who only has 2, and Noah Igbenogany. And one thing that I did want to bring up from the presser from Joe Witt, it was I was a little annoyed that the pressure wasn't up there. Let me see if it's up there now. Still not up there. He spoke highly of Noah Igbenogany, right? And the only thing is, like, he said something about, like, he has to be a little bit more technical in some instances to eliminate the penalties. But other than that, he's been super proud of him and impressive. He's sticky in coverage, which is something that we've all noticed here, except for one person on the show who will go unnamed. Yep. But I think that Igbenogany is definitely a person who has found a home. The issue with him is that, his previous seasons in the NFL, he hasn't seen as high of a snap count that he's getting right now. So that is the literal problem with Igbenogany and transitioning to a more full-time role. And that is something. The question is, like, if they re-sign him, like, how do you get better in the offseason to eliminate that? And that's the thing. He's had some penalties this season. They haven't been as detrimental as Ben's, but he's had some penalties this season. Mike Sanders still has gotten beaten coverage, but he hasn't really gotten any penalties. Like I said, he's only had 2, and I think they were actually both in November. So that just tells you how clean of a player he is. I'll bring back Noah Igbenogany. Cornelius Lucas is 33 years old. He cool. But if you can't find yourself another swing tackle in free agency, that's a problem. That's a person that I'd be okay with moving on from. And that would also be related to his age as well. I'd be okay with moving on from Cornelius Lucas. Your time is up. Michael Dieter, 28. I do have an opinion on him. It's not good. But if you make it $1.8 million and you can grow in this position group, I don't think he's terrible. I don't trust him per se, but that's just me. I think I'm okay with bringing Dieter back. You need some depth at that offensive line, and if you can bring that, you can bring back some players and establish some continuity. Like if you have some of those injured guys, I think Dieter is a solid. He's a solid option that you can bring back for another year. Ben St. Juice. Ben St. Juice. 27. 27 years old. Making $1.2 million. What y'all doing? I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Look at Hawk. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Look at Hawk. Hawk say bring him back. I'd be okay with bringing. So look, I'd be okay with bringing Ben back on these conditions. You sign 3 or you find 3 cornerbacks that you plan on starting over him. That can include Igbenogany, Marshawn. Marshawn's coming back. Sorry, Igbenogany, and 2 other free agents. I mean, he found a role on special teams. But I said this in the offseason, and I said this during the season as well, I think. Ben is in a position where, like, he's not terrible. The issues is the flags, of course. But I think he would be better off with a fresh start somewhere else. I mean, think about it, bro. He got benched. And the coaches had no intention on putting him in the game so long as Mike Davis was healthy. They would have rathered Mike Davis be out there on the field getting diced up, sliced up, than putting Benjamin St. Juice on the field. So I genuinely think, even with all me saying, okay, Dakota in here. What's up, Dakota? I genuinely think, even if Washington is open to bringing Ben back, they ain't got no intention on really playing him, like not on the field, unless he's a depth piece at this point. That's how Washington views him. They don't have no intention on playing him. It's the reason why Mike Davis is out there. So I think that he's going to look for a fresh start. I don't think he's interested in coming back to Washington, and I don't think for him in his career, I don't think it makes sense for him to come back to Washington either. Just, it is what it is. Olamide Zaccheaus, we talked about that. Bring him back. De'Ami Brown, I'm cool with bringing. I'm cool with bringing Noah Brown back, but like the injury part is the problem. I'm sure Noah would want to come back as well. He'll be 29 next month. No, he'll be 29 next month. So he'll be playing, if he does play with Washington again, he'll be in his 29th year season. Or year 29 season is what I was trying to say. De'Ami Brown, honestly think that Kliff values him enough to bring him back on like a 1-year deal. I don't think it's gonna be any further than that for Washington. But I also think that for Diami, you're talking about a person who essentially, if it wasn't for like his vertical ability to stretch the field and that nobody else on this team can do it, I wouldn't think that he'd be an option. I also don't think he'll be a priority re-signing. So I think this is a person who, they may try like early on to offer him that 1-year contract or something. But then also may bring him back if he doesn't sign anywhere else. Because I honestly think he'll have a market, right? Like especially when you have a niche role like that, and you find opportunities out there like where you get like those 1-year deals similar to what Washington may provide him. He'll have a market, right? But we'll see where that goes. Jeremy McNichols, I'm cool with, but he's 29, about to be 30. You can upgrade from that. Derek Forrest. John Bates, I'm cool with as well. He's 27. You can bring him back on like a 1-year, 2-year deal. But I think he plays good enough in his role that he'll have a market. John Bates will. And then Derek Forrest. I don't know. I went through the whole thing, but honestly, bro, who we need to bring back, I say need is Jeremy Chin. I say need is Bobby Wagner, Tress Way, Noah Igbenogany, Olamide Zacchaeus. That's it for me. Needs. They can bring back more. I'll be okay with that. But needs, that's it for me. I think we're going to see what that Kevin Seymour dude is this week. St. Jude's probably, he ain't going to want to come back. He's not going to the Jets because ain't no way below the earth Double R getting the Jets job. Of course, you change your mind and bring Diami back. You want to bring him back. You would extend his contract. Hawk, I'm not about to talk about that last comment you made. All right, let's get out of here with some lines. Let's talk some lines. Who's on the slate this week that we like? Exit out of all this. All right. We have the Ravens and the Browns again. 20-point favorites for the Ravens. That's just nasty. You can't even tease them. Like if you tease them, you're just teasing them down to 13. My Lord Jesus. The over-under in that game is 41. I don't know, bro. I may try and go to a brunch or something. I ain't even worried about that game. Anyway, Bengals, Steelers, 2.5-point game. Bengals are favored by 2.5 points. That ought to be a good game. Steelers are playing for something. They're playing for the division title. But you got the Ravens who got like a cakewalk. Either way. No, the Steelers are playing for division title and seeding. Playoff scenarios week 18. Let me double check. Oh no, it's just for the title. Okay. So that's it. So if Baltimore wins, then Pittsburgh ain't really playing for nothing. So that honestly can go up. That may actually decide or influence the line for the Bengals game. Bengals are on a mission, bro. Like, their defense ain't the best, but Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, they got records to break. But also, they're in the same boat where like they gotta win out. It may be too little, too late for them, but I don't see them losing against Pittsburgh. I ain't gonna lie to you. If Pittsburgh loses and Denver wins, they have to play Buffalo first. Also, it is a seeding thing. Why didn't they say? All right, hold on. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong playoff seeding scenarios week 18. Okay, let's see if I find something here. I don't think none of these people. All right, you know what? I'm not gonna do that because that's gonna make my brain hurt. All right, let's see what we got on Sunday. The Bills are 2-point favorites against the Patriots. Obviously we know they're benching Josh Allen for the game. We're sitting Josh Allen, so that's why the number's so short. But they are 2-point favorites. That's a tricky one. One that I do like though, that I was looking at a couple of days ago. Where's that game at? Chiefs and Broncos. The Chiefs are 10.5 point underdogs against the Denver Broncos. The only difference is they benching Pat Mahomes. I don't know who else sitting right now, but I like that number and I like it for the Kansas City Chiefs. If you're giving Kansas City Andy Reid 10 plus points to cover with Carson Wentz, I mean, look, you can't bench for so many people. Kareem Hunt probably going to end up playing. Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, like you can't bench for so many players. Defensively, who you going to sit? All right. I mean, Chris Jones, for sure, you can sit him. But you can bench for only so many players. I think that's going to be a close game. I think that's going to come down to the wire. That's something that I'm looking at in terms of the Chiefs and Broncos and saying the Chiefs is a game that I like to lock in on come Sunday. I lean Chiefs. Chargers, Raiders. Same thing. Chargers are 4.5 point favorites over the Raiders. I like the Raiders in this game too. Like division, I mean, all of these are divisional games, right? But I like that one. Niners, Cardinals. That's going to be a good game too. Ain't nobody being benched in that game. And both those teams are out of the playoffs, so they just playing for the love of the game. So that's one you can really count on, right? Niners, Cardinals, in terms of like their starters playing, probably trying to get some incentives, trying to get that dub or whatever it is. I like Niners, Cardinals. Cardinals are 4.5 point favorites at home. I think that boy George Kittle goes crazy. He been going crazy the last month of the season. They ain't got no running game still, right? The Niners don't, but I don't give a damn. Nick Bosa's still playing. Actually, let me check. Niners, Cardinals, inactives. Okay, so they announced 6 players. Oh, Lord Jesus. But Fred Warner and George Kittle are set to play. That's October. Jesus Christ. Oh, Brock Purdy not playing. Wow. But George Kittle is. So who's their backup in San Fran? Nick Bosa, Leonard Floyd, Debo Samuel, Damama Bador, Lenore. They weren't practicing. Oh no. I might have been dead wrong. I'm glad I looked this up. The Cardinals ain't sitting nobody. Yeah, all of this is tricky, by the way. If you are interested in betting week 18, I mean, I will. But I may have like just a couple games. Honestly, this may be one of those weeks where you just like look at the Sunday night game with Detroit, Minnesota, some other meaningful games out there. Who is Miami? Miami plays the Jets. The Jets and Dolphins is something that you want to key in on. I mentioned the Chiefs game. I'm definitely going to key in on that because it has implications for Denver. And then the Vikings and Lions, as I mentioned. Everything else is going to be a little tricky. Bears and Packers. Packers are 10-point favorites. And honestly, I like the Packers to cover that number. I'm not necessarily like a public bettor, like betting with the public. But honestly, this may be one of those weeks where you like, F it, bro. The books may get their ass beat this week. You see what I'm saying? Seahawks, Rams. Rams is benching Stafford. They're starting Garoppolo. I didn't even know Garoppolo was on their team. I thought it was going to be the dude from Georgia. Stetson Bennett. I didn't know Garoppolo was on their team. But the Rams are 6.5-point underdogs at home. It'd be hilarious if Sam Howell was playing that game. Yeah. It's going to be a tricky slate. And obviously, I'm going to put some bread on the Bengals, Steelers. I may do like a player prop for the Ravens. Some player props just to get some action. That line is stinky. One thing that FanDuel does that I like, though, like if you go to their parlay section, like the parlay tab, it gives you their original line. So now that they got shot up to 20, like right now, I can go to FanDuel. All right. So like it's 19.5 right now. The line is on FanDuel. Also, they didn't even set it yet. That's stupid. Also, they ain't set everything yet for them. Okay. But if you go to a game on FanDuel and you go and you pick a game and you scroll all the way to the right where it says parlays, it gives you like a spread / total parlay. You got to bet both. But it gives you the original line. And then it gives you alternative lines as well. They don't have that yet for the Ravens game yet. I guess they're just trying to figure out who's playing and who's not playing. So that's another angle that you can look at. I may end up doing something like that for Baltimore and Cleveland. Saints, Buccaneers, like Buccaneers may blow the doors off them boys. That's another divisional game. Buccaneers need that to win the division. Falcons, Panthers, same thing. They need to win the division. I mean, excuse me, they playing for their playoff lives. They got to win the division. They got to beat Carolina. Falcons are 9-point favorites at home. That should be a good one. Because again, Panthers ain't benching nobody. Panthers ain't sitting nobody. But they don't have Chuba Hubbard. Is Chuba on IR? Matter of fact, let me check. Yeah, he's on IR. Okay. It's gonna be rough. Josh Dobbs. He might be all right. We seen what he did last year, right? And that year with the Cardinals. Or was that last year? Yeah, that was last year. He was a mercenary. Teams brought him in to win games and cover spreads. It's a good question. I'm going with both. May want to parlay them on an anytime touchdown jump. Zach Ertz and Trey McBride. You know, they're going to try and get McBride in the end zone again. Going with both. Unless it's for fantasy. If you're talking about fantasy, maybe Ertz. I'm not a fantasy guy, so I played it here and there, but I ain't. If you take my word, God bless. Yeah, see, I figured. I was like, if you're talking fantasy, bro, I'll take. Boy, you risking it talking to me about fantasy. I remember one person asked me about. He asked me, should he get Brian Robinson or Jahan Dotson on his team? This was last year. He knew I was a Skins fan. Well, I told him Jahan Dotson. We know the type of season he had last year. I was like, I thought I knew my team. I thought I knew my team after that, bro. Am I buying that LA is avoiding Washington? They got the division clinched. They already got their division wrapped. So I don't think it's a Washington thing. I do think that it plays a part, like percentage-wise, I'd say like 10% out of 100. I think it's like a 10% factor. But I mean, the alternative is who? If they move to the 4 seed, they play the 5 seed. The 5 seed is is Minnesota or Detroit. It's gonna be Minnesota or Detroit. So why would LA avoid Washington? Wait, what did I say? Did I just say LA or Detroit? I think I meant Minnesota or Detroit. They'll be the 5 seed. Those are the wild cards. 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So I don't know why LA would be avoiding us. They're gonna have a problem either way. I really just think it's because they wrapped up the division. They want to protect Matt Stafford. They want to protect all the guys that they really need in the postseason. So if they happen to win, good. If they lose, don't hurt them. But like the 5th seed team is more dangerous than the 6th seed. Like them boys are some dogs too. Yeah, it's gonna be Detroit and Minnesota, so they're not really avoiding Washington. That's our ego speaking right there. It ain't us. LA has a lot of injury-prone players too. That is true. All right. Hey, that's gonna wrap it up for us. All the morning trappers, man, tapped in. Appreciate you every single week. Showing Trapper Dive some support, some love. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're watching, welcome to the channel. Hope you all enjoyed the conversation. Hit that subscribe button. We are 60 away from 3K. shit. I mean, if you ain't doing nothing, go ahead and share the channel, share the episode. You know, repost it or something like that. I don't know. I mean, just asking. You ain't got to do it. Also could consider becoming a member, like my man Al too, like my man Hulk, the Trappers. You know, we do give back on that side as well. So for showing your support. So we definitely appreciate everybody who tapped in live. Again, that's gonna close it up for us. We will be back Sunday. The crew is for the game post-game recap of Dallas and Washington. And then we gearing up for playoffs, bro. That's what we really here for. You know, I can't wait, honestly. And we got a surprise for y'all come playoffs too. It's gonna be a whole new vibe. I can't wait for that either. And wait for all of us to experience that. The Trapper Dive family, the Trappers. I can't wait for us to experience that. So, I can't wait for playoffs for that. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for us. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe. Also, if you're in the DMV area, you know about that snowstorm that's supposed to be coming in on Sunday. My mom told me make sure I'm straight. I said I'll believe it when I see it. These snowstorms in DC, it's all talk. Only good thing is like my dog is gonna love it. Dakota, she's a husky. If I could bring her on camera, I would, but she don't like getting picked up. I do it to piss her off. But okay, that's gonna wrap it up for us. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe. I need to grab me a bottle of Basil Hayden while I'm out. If I'm gonna be stuck in a snowstorm. But yes, that's gonna wrap it up. Jay Tizzy, appreciate you, big dog. We out here.
Chop it down. Chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Damn, set. Watch him throw the ball. We gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trapper Dive.